Your furnace blower is running. You can hear it, you can feel air moving out of the vents, and every bit of that air is stone cold. You keep waiting for it to warm up, and it just never does. If that is what your RV furnace is doing right now, the first thing worth knowing is that the furnace itself is almost never the part that actually broke. An RV furnace only lights if about 8 things happen in the right order, and it quits at exactly one of them. Most of the time, that one broken link is not even the furnace. It is sitting upstream of it, in the battery or in the propane, and it is usually cheap or completely free to fix. So before you go pricing out a new furnace or booking a mobile tech 3 weeks out, let me walk you down that chain, because once you can see the order, you can find the link that broke. There is also one free test that tells you which half of the problem you have, and I will get to it right after the first thing you check. Let's start with the blower itself. When you call for heat, does the fan actually spin up at all? If you get nothing, no fan, no sound, then you are not looking at a furnace problem, you are looking at a power problem. These furnaces run off your 12-volt battery side, not off the shore power plug directly, so the first two suspects are a blown fuse in the DC panel and a weak battery. And the battery is the big one. An RV furnace wants somewhere between about 10.5 and 13.5 volts to work right. Once the battery sags under about 11 volts, the blower turns too slowly to trip the safety switch that has to close before it can light. So a tired battery looks exactly like a dead furnace. Honestly, if it were my rig, I would throw a meter on that battery before I touched anything else, because I have watched too many people skip it and buy parts they never needed. Here is the version I see over and over. You are parked off-grid on a cold night, no hookups. All evening the furnace runs fine. Then around 2 in the morning the battery has drooped from running the fan and the lights, and the furnace kicks on, blows cold, and never lights. Same rig that ran perfectly on shore power the night before. So charge it back up or plug into shore power and measure the voltage right at the furnace while the blower runs, not while it sits still. If it sags below 11 volts under that load, you found your problem, and it was never the furnace. Now, if the blower does spin up strong, this is where that free test comes in, and I would do it before anything else. Step outside to the little exhaust vent on the side of the camper, start the furnace, and just stand there and listen. About 15 seconds after the blower comes on, you should hear a fast ticking, a tick, 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 tick. That sound is the igniter sparking, trying to light the burner. That one noise splits your entire diagnosis in half. If you can hear the ticking, then the two safety switches everybody panics about, the sail switch and the limit switch, are both doing their job, because the control board would never let it spark otherwise. So you can stop right there and quit swapping those parts. Your trouble is on the gas side. But if the blower runs and you get dead silence, no ticking at all, then the trouble is on the air side, and now those switches are exactly where you look first. Let me take the air side first, because that is the most common and the cheapest to fix. The sail switch is a little paddle that sits down in the blower housing, and it closes when the fan moves enough air, telling the board it is finally safe to light. These furnaces run with no air filter on them, so they pull cabin air straight across that paddle, and pet hair, dust, and lint gum it up until it will not close. I will be straight with you about this switch, because it gets talked about wrong constantly. I went through the furnace manuals and what the actual mobile techs say, and the honest version is not the one the forums give you. On every RV group, whatever the furnace is doing, somebody swears it is the sail switch. It does go bad all the time, so it might genuinely be yours. But this is the single part one watch people waste the most money on, because half the folks who replace it never checked it first. So check it before you buy anything. Pull it, wipe the paddle clean, and if it is truly shot, a new one is 10 or 15 bucks and 5 minutes of work on most units. If you own a cheap meter, you can confirm it, because you should see voltage going into the switch and about the same coming back out while the furnace tries to fire. If that sail switch is clean and testing good, the other switch on the same safety circuit is the high limit switch. It is an over temp switch that cuts the gas if the furnace runs too hot, and it usually trips because airflow got blocked somewhere, a closed register or a crushed duct. So clear the airflow first before you can dim the switch. And one hard rule here: never jump that limit switch out and leave it jump just to force the furnace to run, because that switch is the only thing standing between your furnace and it cooking itself. Okay, back over to the other branch. You heard the ticking, the spark is there, but you still get no flame. Now it is a fuel problem, and this is exactly where most of the videos out there quit on you. Go check the obvious stuff. Is the propane actually turned on, and is the tank maybe just empty? Walk inside and light a stove burner. A strong blue flame means you have got good gas pressure. A weak, lazy yellow flame means you do not, and that furnace is not going to light until you fix the fuel. There is one cause almost nobody mentions, and it is my favorite to catch because it brings a shocking number of these back from the dead for free. Modern propane tanks have a little safety valve built into the connection, and if you crank that tank valve open fast or turn it on while an appliance is already running, that safety trips itself into a bypass mode and only lets a dribble of gas through. Every appliance in the rig then runs weak or will not light, and the furnace, which needs the most gas, is the first to quit. The reset for it is really simple. Turn the tank all the way off, crack a stove burner on for a second, and shut it. Then bring the tank valve back up nice and slow. Take 2 or 3 seconds to do it. That one trick fixes a lot of no-light furnaces. And if you just ran the tank dry and refilled, or swapped a bottle, you have got air trapped in the line. Run a couple of stove burners on high for a minute or so until they burn steady and blue, and that shoves the air back out. The furnace is usually the farthest appliance from the tank, so it is the last one to clear. 2 more on the fuel side, and then we move on. Your regulator, the part sitting between the tanks and the rig, wears out. The thin diaphragm inside it develops pinholes after about 8 to 10 years, and the pressure starts wandering, which shows up as weak heat or heat that comes and goes. A new one runs $30 to $40, and you can do it yourself. The other one, if the camper has been sitting all winter, is bugs. Pull the furnace cover and look up inside the burner tube. Mud daubers and spiders love to build nests in there and in the exhaust, and one nest will choke the burner right off. Blow it out with compressed air, and while you are in there, check the little gas orifice for rust or junk clogging it. There is one more pattern worth naming, and I will be honest, it is the one that drives me a little crazy. The furnace lights, runs for a few seconds, then snuffs itself out, and it does it over and over. One thing behind that catches almost everybody. That telescoping exhaust pipe has to be seated all the way into the outside vent. If it is not fully pushed together, the second the burner lights, it starts sucking its own exhaust back into its combustion air, and it smothers itself in seconds. I have read the same story 100 times, people chasing this one for months, swapping switches and boards and gas valves, when the real fix was pushing the flue back together. It is a safety issue on top of that, so make sure that exhaust is seated tight and sealed. If the spark, the gas, and the flue all check out fine and it still lights and dies, now you are finally down to the control board, and only now. Personally, I think the board gets blamed way too early. So I would rule out every cheap thing on this list before I spent a nickel on one. On a lot of Dometic and Atwood units, the board sits in a low spot and slowly collects water, which corrodes it over time. If your board has a little light on it, count the flashes when it fails. 1 flash is usually airflow or a limit fault. 2 flashes is flame sensing. 3 flashes is an ignition lockout, though the exact codes shift by brand, so read the label inside the access panel. A replacement board can run from around $50 for a universal one up past a few hundred installed, which is exactly why you rule out the cheap stuff first. One safety rule ties this whole thing together. If you ever smell raw propane while the furnace refuses to light, stop hitting that ignition button. Do not keep trying to spark it. Find the blockage or the leak first, because every failed attempt pumps gas into a closed box you are sitting inside. Keep a working carbon monoxide alarm in the camper, and never bench test the furnace running loose indoors without the exhaust routed outside. So here is what you have got now. An RV furnace is really just a chain. Power spins the blower trips the safety switch, the board fires the igniter, the gas lights, and the flame proves itself. When it will not light, one single link in that chain has broken, and that free tick test at the exhaust tells you which side to go looking on. Work it in order, from the battery, to the switches, to the propane, and I promise you almost always land on something small and cheap long before you ever get near the furnace itself. That is really the whole trick to it. Once you can read the chain, you stop guessing and start finding the exact link that quit. The specific parts and the little meter I use to test this stuff are all sitting in the description if you want them.